Hey guys, how's it going? In today's video, I want to unbox and open a bunch of things that companies have sent us, most of who we actually work with, we partner with in a lot of our videos, except for one, and I will show you, or I'll tell you that product when we get to it. I'm in varying stages of unboxing here. I have some things still in boxes, some things not, and I actually want to try out some of these things in this video so you can see how they work. So the first thing I want to open up is a twist and plant from Proven Winners right here. This is an auger, and we've done videos about augers in the past, and they have proven very, very helpful. And the cool thing about this one is that this is a custom size to plant these right here, which you guys know we plant a ton of these. These are like a 4-inch size can, and this will help out a lot. Now these were built by or made by Power Planter, which we really like. We've used a lot of power planters in the past, but this is a separate size. You can't get this size in the other line. So the things that I do know about this planter already is that the end here is hex shaped. So can you see that? So when you put it in the end of your drill here, which is also the same kind of shape, it doesn't spin. So some augers that you buy, and I've tried out so many different kinds, have just a round end right here, and if they hit any sort of resistance or enough resistance, it'll start to spin in your drill because it doesn't catch like this one does because of the shape. This one I think digs 11 inches deep. Let me look. Yep, bores holes into soil up to 11 inches deep. Now you can use things like this to dig bigger holes too. You just dig several holes in one spot instead of just one. So you can do like 1 gallon size cans with this as well. So the type of drill you use though makes a huge difference as to how your augers work. If you're using a cheap $30 Black & Decker drill, it's going to act like a $30 drill. You can get all drills in varying different price ranges and different powers. This is a DeWalt 20 volt with a 20 volt battery. It works really, really well. There are different settings up here. You want to make sure that you are on the lowest one, right, Aaron? He has to always remind me because I can't ever remember. So the reason why you want to put it on the lowest setting is that once this auger, if it meets resistance or it hits rocks or something like that, instead of like reefing your arm around, it will stop at a certain amount of resistance so you won't hurt yourself, which is important. So what I want to do, we're going to put this in like this. And we're going to take it over into the pasture, which hasn't been worked in a really long time. It's got the hardest soil that I can think of in this garden. So let's head that direction and test it out. All right, so we're standing out here on our new property, and this is an area that has not been worked up in I don't even know how many years. In fact, it's an area that has been driven on, and it's really hard soil. So I feel like this is a really good place to try this out and kind of see what it will do. So here we go. Uh-oh. Oh my word, I didn't tighten it. How embarrassing. Gotta make sure that you tighten the, what's the word?
The chuck. The
chuck? Okay, hold on. At least I got my hole done. Okay. This way, right? Yeah. Why do I always forget that? Okay guys, so you can see I was running into pieces of harder soil, clay. You hear that? That's the side of the hole. Like I can't even indent that soil with my fingers. It is so hard. But that made a really nice hole very quickly. So that's the benefit of augers, especially if you're planting a lot of things. Like you can do bulbs with this. You can do those 4-inch cans. And then if you were wanting to do your 1 gallon hole, you would just do a couple more holes right next to it, and they would all kind of connect together, which will make the job a lot quicker. So anyway, perfect. Let's head back to the shade. Also, if your soil looks like this, please amend it. Add in some compost and gypsum. We're gonna work on this area, it needs it. I feel like that worked out pretty well because that is really crummy, hard soil, and I think it kind of shows what it can do and how fast it can make your job. Now, if you do get one of these, it comes with very detailed instructions. The first one being to tighten the chuck so your auger doesn't fall out mid-job like mine just did. So make sure to follow the instructions. It also goes through all the details like on speed and the clutch settings and what you should have them set on based on like your arm strength. So that's really important stuff. But anyway, I just think it's really convenient because especially if you're planting a lot of this type of plant, it takes the confusion out of what size of auger should I buy. Well, there's one specifically made for this, and you can use it for bigger stuff or, you know, bulbs or whatever as well. So anyway, I'm happy with that. The second thing I want to show you is this right here, and this is from Espoma, who we also work with a lot, but I had never used either of these products, and we just got our hands on them this spring. So this is the Organic Land and Sea Gourmet Compost, which is so nice because, as you guys know, we don't have a big working compost pile yet. I hope to have one on the new land, but it's really hard in the current space we have to it's not hard. I mean, I could create a compost pile somewhere. There really aren't excuses other than the fact that our landscape is fully done. So it's really hard to like take out landscaping to make a compost pile. Now we have opportunity to do that, but it's really convenient to have bagged compost that you can add to your raised beds. And the land portion of this is peat, humus, and forest compost, and the sea portion is lobster and crab meal, which is made out of shells from lobsters and crabs, which, you know, a lot of people eat seafood, and then there's the aftermath. You've got the shells left over, and you can make them into a meal and make them into compost, which I think is a great way to utilize that ingredient. And you know how like seaweed and kelp meal and those types of things are so good for your plants. I'm hoping that this is really awesome too. And I have confidence in this product, in both of them, because, you know, my parents recommended Espoma products to me forever ago. They've been using it for a really long time, and now I feel like I'm like passing on the Espoma torch to all of you guys. So anyway, I just worked this into the beds I planted potatoes in and into the beds back behind the greenhouse. You probably already saw those videos. The next thing is this raised bed mix right here, which is also organic, and it's something that you can fill up your raised beds with. So if you're doing especially a smaller project, like if you're doing a massive project, this might not be cost effective, convenient, but it's specially made to fill up your raised beds, and it's full of a bunch of stuff that are listed right here. So earthworm castings, mycotone, alfalfa meal, kelp meal, and feather meal. So anyway, I used a little bit of this so far on the back beds behind our greenhouse, and I use it as a top dress too, because it looks nice. It's covering my drip tubing, and then I still know it's got goodies that will work its way down into the soil. So anyway, all that said, I'm going to be really trying this stuff out extensively this year, and then I'll be able to report, and you guys will see in update videos. You'll get to see how my produce does and all that sort of thing. So anyway, looking forward to this one. The next thing I have here is a vase. So this is called the Amaranth, the Vase Reinvented. And this, while it's not really my style aesthetically, it's got some interesting features to it. So on first impression, it's a tall vase, skinny, and it's very modern looking. So it's fairly heavy-ish, which is kind of nice because especially if you're using bigger things and bigger branches and things like that, you need a base that will stand up and hold everything upright. But this is the feature. So you put your flowers in there the first time and you enjoy them for a while. Well then, you know, several days later, depending on what you put in here, you need to take the flowers out, recut the ends of the stems, and put them in fresh water. Well, this, see the bottom right there? See that little round like knob? When I twist this vase, see how that knob goes in? And you pull this top part out, all of the flowers stay in here, and you can recut the bottoms without taking them out of the vase, and then you put them back down in here and fill it back up with water. And it's watertight. So you'll probably see this show up later in videos. I thought it was very interesting. I know some flowers you need to cut the stems underwater so that air doesn't like seal off the end of the stems. It'll be interesting just to test it out. The technology is intriguing. So anyway, thought you guys might be interested in seeing that. So we'll put it through the paces and then report back later. Also, it looks like it comes in different colors. So you can get black, white, gray, mint, or pink. We'll link this down below, but yeah, anyway, we'll report back. The last things I have, there's 3 different items. They're all from Gardener's Supply, and I've talked about this one. This is I can't remember the name. We'll put it on the screen. Is it on here? No. It's a cloche, a wire cloche. And I have these in the garden right now, but now they have this piece that extends them. So it's an extendable cloche. Now I gotta see how this works. So you, right here, see this right here? There's a little hook, and I think you take these off, these little rubber things, and you hook your cloche. Well, if you don't do it like a spaz, maybe, hold on. Let's go slow. Not easy to connect. So every time I connect one, the other one pops off. And wouldn't it just fall back down again? Did I get it? Oh, I got it. Okay, so a little squirrely to connect, but the whole point is that you can now get these extenders that make them taller so that as your produce grows, you're not just limited by the top section. You can add this bottom section and you get a lot more time out of it. And I really like any kind of cloche. Like I put them in my garden without even anything under them because I think they're like aesthetically pleasing to look at. And oftentimes if you do have stuff planted in them, it's a really interesting thing. Like I always see people stopping at stuff like this to inspect and look and see what's going on. It makes you slow down in the garden. So anyway, I thought that these were interesting and that you guys might enjoy seeing these. So I do have 2 of these that we will be putting in the garden, but I am not going to connect this one on camera. Next up, we've got some obelisks. And I've got 2 different sizes here, 2 of each. Whenever I order obelisks, I always like to order 2, even if I just need 1, because inevitably I will want to use 2 in containers that flank like a walkway, an opening of some sort in the garden. So it's always nice to have an extra one on hand, even if you don't necessarily need it right away. But did I say what this was called? It's the Verona Obelisk. This is the small size. Get it opened up here. Okay, so I'm gonna get these set up. I don't know what kind of assembly is involved, but I've got 2 small ones and 2 large ones. We'll get them all set up and then I'll show you what they look like. Okay, so I ended up with 4 large ones, which I thought there was only 2. I can't remember ordering 4, but you know what? The more the merrier, and especially when they look like this. The setup on this was really difficult, guys. So they come out of the box like this and then you kind of have to like do that. It's a lot. They aren't super heavy. They're not like super heavy iron, but they feel substantial. I think you could grow clematis up this, like a smaller version clematis, because it's not an enormous obelisk or some kind of annual vine in a container or in your landscape. I really like the design of them. So even if you didn't grow something up, I think it's a really pretty piece of garden art without being kind of in your face, if you know what I mean. So I think the pricing is really fair on these 2. I think for the large ones, if you buy 2 of them, they're $45, so you get a break if you buy more than 1. So for the 2 of them, it's $90, and I think that that's a fair price because obelisks, like as far as they go, they can get really expensive. And I think these are $36 a piece for the small size, so you can kind of see the difference here. I don't know the exact size on these. What is that, like 4 feet? Maybe a little higher. And then this one, 3 feet-ish. Anyway, I think they're really pretty. Really excited to use them out in the garden. And the very last thing that we have today is this hose reel. This is also from Gardener Supply. It's called the Rewald Wall Automatic Hose Reel. And they know, and you guys know, that we have used hose reels, and we've had really good luck with those. This one, the only difference that I know of, other than like the color of the pod, is that this one's longer. The hose is 18 feet longer than hose length. So this one's 100 feet of hose. The other one is 82 feet of hose. Yes. So what we're going to do, because my parents have really wanted a retractable hose in their greenhouse at the garden center, we're going to take this down there right now, install it, show you guys how easy or not it is to install, and then try it out so you guys can see. So let's head down there. All right, guys, so this is actually not going to work out down here in the greenhouse, and I'm so disappointed because I think that they would really like to have one in here. I forgot it's metal siding, and the framework is 2x4s, not 4x4s, and we really do need a 4x4 surface to install this. So what we're going to do is try to find a different location. We'll probably give it away to a family member or a friend, and we'll install it, and we will go through how we think it works at that point in time. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you in the next one.